Have you ever tried to dive into the vast ocean of Hindu scriptures? It can feel, well, pretty overwhelming. It's like walking into a cosmic library with millions of books, and they're all whispering the secrets of the universe at once. Faced with all that, the biggest question is usually the simplest one. Where on earth do you even begin? I mean, the scale of this stuff is just staggering. We're talking about 18 major epic poems, the Puranas, over 100 core philosophical texts, the Upanishads, and then you get to their cosmic calendars, where a single day for the creator god, Brahma, lasts 4.32 times billion years. These aren't just big numbers. They're meant to completely stretch and maybe even break your perception of reality. So, you're standing at the entrance to this labyrinth of myths, gods, and impossibly long timelines. The central question has to be one of navigation. How do we find our way through all this? Is there a key, some kind of map to this seemingly infinite universe of ideas? To find our way, we first have to appreciate just how big this textual universe is. Because we're not just talking about a collection of separate stories or some dusty old philosophy books. The Puranas, for example, do way more than just tell tales. They lay out a complete and total cosmology. I mean, everything from a cosmic egg that hatches the universe to incredibly detailed descriptions of mountains, rivers, and realms that are inhabited by all sorts of deities and demons. It's a full-fledged, deeply interconnected worldview. So the key to navigating all of this is actually a pretty simple but really powerful idea. Let's frame it as a journey from aham, which means the individual self, the I, to adi, the universal source of everything. Thinking of it this way, as a journey from the I to the all, gives us a compass for our map. It reframes this entire body of knowledge as a personal path. And this whole idea of an inner journey, well, it leads to a really radical way of looking at what this ancient cosmology is really all about. And I promise you, it's probably not what you think. Okay, this right here is the big aha moment. Usually, we think of cosmology, like modern astronomy, as a map of physical space, right? Stars, planets, galaxies. But what if this ancient cosmology isn't trying to map the planets in our sky? What if it's actually a guide to the inner cosmos? What if it's a map charting the different dimensions and states of consciousness itself? So in this model, the universe is laid out vertically, with different lokas, or planes of existence. We start down here, at Bhuloka. That's our Earth, the realm of gross physical awareness. But as you ascend this map, you move through these increasingly subtle states of being. You go from the celestial heavens of Swargaloka all the way up to Brahmaloka, which is a state of pure creative consciousness. And here's the crucial point. Travel on this map isn't physical. You can't just send a rocket ship to Tapaloka. As the texts themselves say, to reach these other realms, you have to go on an internal journey. You have to radically shift your own state of being. Even those vast cosmic time cycles, the yugas, are functions of consciousness. An age of pure unified awareness, like the Satya Yuga or Golden Age, is said to last for over 1.7 million years. But as consciousness declines and gets denser through the ages, our very experience of time contracts and changes right along with it. So, if this is a map of consciousness, then who are all the characters in these stories? Who are the travelers moving around on this map? The gods and demons, the devas and asuras, can be understood not as literal good guys and bad guys, but as archetypes for different qualities of consciousness. The devas represent a subtle, refined awareness that's focused on cosmic harmony. The asuras, on the other hand, represent a more gross material consciousness, one that's driven by power, envy, and satisfying the physical senses. With this key, the Puranas completely transform. They become these amazing allegorical travelogues. The Vishnu Purana becomes a story about how wisdom gets preserved across different cosmic cycles of consciousness. The Garuda Purana explores what it takes to get free from karmic entanglement. And the Brahmanda Purana illustrates this mind-blowing idea that the entire cosmos is just a reflection of your own inner world. Just take the really strange story of King Nurig. He was a good king, by all accounts, but he made a simple mistake. He accidentally donated the same cow to two different priests. And for that one little error, his consciousness gets rebound and he's reborn as a chameleon, trapped in a deep well, just waiting for someone to liberate him. So do we read that as a literal, historical event? Or is it a really powerful allegory about karma? Is it trying to tell us that even a small, unconscious action can create these incredibly intricate consequences that bind our consciousness, trapping us in a state of limitation, just like a chameleon stuck in a well? Okay, so we've got the map, and we understand who the inhabitants are. But how do you actually travel this inner landscape? What are the tools for navigation? What's the inner GPS? Well, if the Puranas are the grand atlas of the conscious universe, then a text like the Bhagavad Gita is the practical user's manual. It's the step-by-step, turn-by-turn guide on how to actually make the journey. And the primary method the Gita describes is yoga. Now, in this context, we're not just talking about physical postures. Yoga is any method, any practice at all, that helps unite our individual awareness, our aham, with that universal source, the Adi. The Gita lays out 3 main paths, which is great because there's something for everyone. You have Jnana Yoga, the path of knowledge, for those who use their intellect to figure things out. You have Bhakti Yoga, the path of devotion, for those who use emotion and love to connect. And then there's Karma Yoga, the path of action, for those who want to find freedom right in the middle of their daily lives, by acting without being attached to the result. So, what's the end game here? What is the final destination of this entire journey? Where does the map ultimately lead? This is where the Upanishads, the most philosophical of the texts, give us the ultimate insight. They tell us that at the peak of this journey, all separation just dissolves. The traveler, the path you're walking on, and the destination you've been seeking, they all merge together into one single unified reality. This entire realization is perfectly captured in one of the most famous declarations from the Upanishads, Tat Tvam Asi. It simply means, thou art that. And that's the final revelation. The individual self you thought you were was actually, all along, the universal reality you were searching for. And that leaves us with one last, really powerful thought to chew on. If this whole vast, complex cosmos is ultimately a map of consciousness, a reflection of what's happening inside, then what does the map of your universe look like? What realms are you navigating right now?